Hello and welcome to this tutorial. This will be kind of simple tutorial. We're going to look how to create seamless textures, like what we see right here. This is sand texture, so we can see how we can create very fast from the photos, adjustments, and how most importantly create even luminosity on this, because I find sometimes it does have some effect when you're creating. And right here some steps you can preview, and let's go ahead and start working on this. So let's go ahead and start working on our textures. And this is an image I shot in Oregon coast, and usually what I'm doing, I'm going photo shooting landscape, other things, and always when I see texture I take snapshot of texture, because always when I work with compositing I need more and more texture, and have a good library it's useful. But problem is, in a many like 3D, when I'm using, I want seamless texture, and it's have some applications you can download it and to do those textures seamlessly in the application. However, we're going to do in Photoshop, and the reason is why that we can select what we want to do. So overall, I'm first estimating, and I see right here edges. I don't like how they look. We can correct this by removing chromatic abbreviations and just align it, so recover some of the space. But I notice right on the edge right here too blur, so we don't really care about them. Mostly I want to sand on the middle. This can apply with rocks, grass, any other things, so we'll just use it as example. Next, what I want to do is increase sharpness, and usually because the cameras, particularly Canon Mark III, 5D Mark III, they have an anti-aliasing built in the filters, so I want kind of compensate for that. Next, let's go to our general settings, and we, by the way, in the camera raw. And right here, what I want to do is take my highlights down. Notice what's happening. I want a little bit flatten. I will bring back up, but for the sand, I want a little bit less on a contrast right here. And we can also a little bit reduce on the shadows. Be careful with reducing shadows. It will introduce some digital noise to this. If we have a different grass or other things, I may play with the green highlights on some coloring here, but with the sand right here, we can look closer. You can see we can just kind of apply. I'll just bring a little bit down because I want maybe a little bit contrast on some of these elements, but overall I think it's look good. And we'll go open this image inside the Photoshop. So right here, straightforward, I want to actually cut some elements, like right here where the distortion was applied, and water and some other effect. Okay, so right here we image, but I notice these corners, it's a little bit offset, so I want to balance them with a little bit. And we can do this with kind of easy trick I find out. So let's go create a new background copy, okay? And we'll go to blurs. Go to blur. Okay, and right here we could actually blur just a little bit around there, so I can see right here, you can see lighting, okay? And we'll go actually switch this to the soft light and press Ctrl-I. So this way we inverse, we lose some of the coloring with okay, but you can see really a bit even out some our elements. Of course, we can modify, we can play a little bit more with coloring, but overall I do actually like this coloring a little bit better. We could restore by applying curves in the future if you need it. Example, we can go to the curves, set this to color mode. We can kind of play a little bit more to bring some of those elements back. So we can add all of those additional filters to this to restore our color if you need it. But again, now we a little bit even out. Even right here, we still have some elements. So let me actually go and cut off a little bit more. Right there. Okay. And many times when you create, you want maybe even scale, proportions, but for now we'll just keep it this way, so you'll see better different. So after this, Command or Control Shift Alt E or Option E, and this is take all of these layers, merge them together in creating brand new layer on this. So this will be our main layer that we want to kind of play a little bit with this and apply it. So after all combinations, we need to go to Filters, and we'll go Other, and we'll go to Offset. What Offset help us to do right here, it's adjust positioning, and you can see as we're doing, we can see the different. So let's go to vertical. We'll bring maybe like on a middle. Okay, and same with horizontal. Horizontal, we kind of okay. Okay, right here, our horizontal line. Of course, we can look on image size and do it, but right there, I can see how big is different. So we need to apply it. For this one, we'll create new layer. And now we can use it simple on sand is a bit easier because all what we need to do, just use it clone tool, and depend what we wanted. We can try with a soft round, okay, and we can also 10% opacity. You know what, let's go a little bit higher, maybe 40, and we can click right there, select bigger brush, and you can see we can kind of start blending a little bit more. And in this case, you can see which one work better. So all we do, we just take these images. Yeah, let's click right there. And sometimes maybe if it's too hard, we need not hard enough, we can pop up a little bit more so we have it harder elements. Let's also decreasing. We don't want the repetition necessary, but you can see careful right here by edge because we okay, let's sample again. And by the edge is a little bit harder because when we start another offset, we can see the difference. But overall, it's kind of going. Maybe, you know, add a few more around here. Okay, when we're done with this, again, we can create another offset, but I'm going to merge this one more time, filter, the other, let's go to offset. I just want to be sure it's look okay, and I see right there, you can see some repetitions. So we'll click and just add a little bit on this texture. Right there. So kind of fixing a little bit, and we have it now sand looking, and we know it is well nice style for us as a textures because we did not we look on this offset on a seamless. It's how we verified. Again, if you want it, you can go try again, do another offset and see how it's work, like rearrange. Remember, you always can go inside, create black and white. And sometimes it does help to bring down and see where is the kind of on a texturing. It will give up. You see right there we'll have some texturing, but you also can see where's the bright and brighter elements. But I think overall, by kind of bringing together and do all this stuff, we applied very good. To bring other step, what I like to do, let's destroy all of this. Again, Shift Alt E, we create new layer, and we'll go to image, adjust, black and white. We'll add a little bit more out texture because I think we lost some of this. And we'll just bring red, yellow, maybe a little bit back up. Click OK. Image adjustments, we'll go to shadow highlights. We'll take radius down to maybe about 10 pixels. Pop-up amount on the both highlights and shadows, and we'll tone. We'll just try to bring a little bit contrasting out. Okay, sometimes when we do with a brush, we may lose some details, and create this layer, switching to soft lights, will keep us, you see how we brought texture back up. So it does help us to bring this extra texture if you need it, kind of out some gringiness. Okay, so right here, I think this is seamless texture. It's kind of work good. We have all of these different rocks. Okay, I may want to add sharpness to these filters, sharper, unsharp mask. Not necessarily want to do too much of this, but you can see, because if we do, we have it all fringing coming. So, but just bring a little bit more. Click OK. And so right here we have our sand texture. Same things you can do with a grass, with any other texture. Idea of this, you do offset to look on lines and blend those lines together. As well, we have some of this copy that we created to make kind of even somewhat a look on the our tonal, so we don't have it like a brighter in one end and darker in another one. So with this one we can even out our luminosity through all of this. So thank you for watching these tutorials, and please remember visit us on www.geekatplay.com.